Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are here today with Mayor Andy Schor. Thank you for coming. And the intent of this is to give a tour of the zoo, show you some of the progress that we've made, show you some of the areas that we continually will need to improve, and end up at the Rhino Barn, which is one of the best places at the zoo.
I come to the zoo pretty often. My wife served on the board for many years. We came here with our kids for many years. We love to see the new things at the zoo. We actually did an Employees Appreciation Day at the zoo a few years ago. This is a gem in the heart of our city. It's a wonderful place to visit. It's city owned but county supported, so we certainly appreciate that. So I'm excited to see all the new things that are coming up at the zoo.
So we're going through the North American area of the zoo right now, which begins with our Arctic fox. As cold as it is, they tend to prefer this weather, so we'll see. Ideally, she will be out, and there she is. This is Sparkle, our Arctic fox, and she thrives on Michigan weather, so this is a dream for an Arctic fox. It's just getting into her kind of weather. One of the things that we're looking at is the different exhibits in the zoo and what can be improved. And one of the things we'd like to do with this exhibit is we'd like to have it covered and have it be a little bit more natural. That's something that's coming hopefully soon, and we'll be working on a revitalization kind of capital campaign for the zoo, and this is one of the elements of that revitalization. So this exhibit is our eagles, which are very, very popular. This is Luca, who is low to the ground, and above is Hal. Luca is an animal that fell out of his nest as a baby, and he imprinted on humans, so he's pretty sure that he's just one of us. Hal was injured as an older animal, and so he tends to stay up higher and a little bit more away from people. You can only have eagles in captivity if they are unable to be released. So neither of these eagles could thrive in the wild. Luca has an injury to his wing. Hal has an injury to his lungs. He was shot many years ago, and he is no longer able to sustain enough flight to be able to hunt. So they'll stay with us throughout the rest of their lives. This exhibit is our kestrel exhibit, and the kestrel in the exhibit are both not releasable. We obtained the kestrel from a rescue group, and they took care of them until they were able to come to the zoo. So we have one that is somewhat flighted, one somewhat not flighted. They've been here only a year, and they're doing really, really well in this exhibit. That being said, they are animals that have sustained injuries, so they have the option of a heat lamp that they can sit under if they choose. They're a little bit more coddled than your average wild kestrel would be. Where the animals reside in the winter really depends on the species and where they're native. So we've come through the North American exhibit. These animals will all stay in their exhibits unless there's a reason. You know, if there's typically horrible weather or storm comes or those kind of things, we may take the animals into a different kind of environment. But for the most part, all the animals in the North American exhibit are able to handle Michigan temperatures in the winter, and some of them even thrive in those temperatures. So this, again, part of our North American exhibit, these are ravens. Ravens are native to Michigan. You don't typically see them in this part of the state, but they're very common in northern Michigan. They thrive in this environment as well. And as you can see, they're decorated for Halloween. And they're a really interesting species. They're part of the corvid family. They're incredibly intelligent. They're great problem solvers. They are pretty amazing animals, and fun to have here because we don't often see them in this area of Michigan. Rocky is a very, very social raven. He's very interested in humans. He tends to interact with people. He's one of the favorites of many of our guests because he will actually interact with you. He was previously an ambassador animal, but as he got older, he's a little bit challenging to handle, so he now just gets to live here with his friend Lily, and he's no longer an ambassador species for us. So we are in our farmyard area here at Potter Park Zoo, and this is an area that's really popular with guests because they do get an opportunity to be closer to the animals. Some of the guests that come to our zoo may have never even been on a farm. So this is an opportunity to experience all that a farm has to offer. We've got cattle, we've got goats, we've got alpaca, we've got swine. So we have many species that people can see that they may not see otherwise. So we're really happy about that. One of the issues we've got with the farmyard is that we do need to do some improvement in how things drain. And we are working with federal lawmakers to try to secure funds so that the runoff from these pens doesn't end up in a place that you don't want it to end up. So we're hopeful that by next year we'll be able to completely revise this area and extend the fences, put in more activities for children, but most importantly make sure that the drain water is going where it's supposed to be going. So we're walking through the part of the zoo that has our large cats. So we have a snow leopard, which obviously is used to being near snow and very happy with our climate. We have an Amur tiger, which is also an animal that is native to the Siberia area. They also are very comfortable with this environment. We have a Pallas cat who lives in a similar environment to the snow leopard, and they also really like Michigan's climate. So we're fortunate that most of our cats are pretty comfortable in this area.
You guys are going to be meeting Dopsy, our 16-year-old female black rhino. Just so that you guys are aware, when you're meeting her, she does have a very long horn, so just be careful as you're meeting her. Try not to bend over. She kind of likes to pick her head up. Also, just be aware of where your hands are when you are touching her. Make sure they're not between the bars and her. You guys will feel it, but she won't, so.
We have 5 keepers that take care of her, and we kind of rotate between the runs in our area. So we do spend a lot of more one-on-one time with them in the winter when they are inside the barn for like our winter protocols and temperatures. But we do train with these guys every single day, both of them. So that's a lot of time spent with them personally. And the best way that we get bonds and stuff with them is just spending that one-on-one time with them. So anytime that I'm cleaning in here and I have a free couple minutes, I'm over here talking to her, petting her, giving her snacks and stuff. There's really not a whole lot that she doesn't like. Her favorite snacks are gonna be like those ones she gets occasionally, so like Cheerios. She gets little peppermints from our vet staff. But like her most favorite thing, I would say, is just us spending time with her. So she will go in the chute, and after a training session, she like won't move, and we know what she wants. She wants us all to like rub her down. So all of us will spend a couple minutes like giving her rub downs and stuff, and that I think is like probably her most favorite thing.
So Dopsy, weighing 2,700 pounds, is a pretty large animal that requires a lot of nutrition. So she eats around 20 pounds of hay a day, and it's very high quality hay. And she also eats around 12 pounds of grain, and that's not including the treats that Dopsy gets. She likes hay cubes, she likes sweet potatoes, she likes basically anything that's unique and interesting. But the funniest thing about Dopsy is that she loves peppermints, and so we don't give them to her often. They're not the ideal diet for an eastern black rhino, but the veterinary staff tends to give them to her because they want to stay in her good favor. So when a vet walks in and she gets a high value treat, it helps them do the work that they do with this rhino.
So behind me here, I have Moose. He is an eastern mountain bongo. Eastern mountain bongos are critically endangered. There is only estimated to be about 100 to 200 individuals left in the wild. So we are pretty lucky here that we have 4 individuals. They are thought to be like a mountain cow, so they do moo like cows do. And they also, he would like these greens. These guys, their coloration is pretty unique to them. It helps them blend in the dense forests where they live. They are a herd species though, so you'll always find them in groups. And then they also have horns opposed to antlers, so they grow throughout their entire life and they spiral throughout their whole life. You can tell the difference between our males and our females by their horns.
So right now we're in front of our elk exhibit, which is a 2-acre exhibit that we're pretty proud of. You can see Emmett, our male, hiding behind the trees. He is just a beautiful animal, and the nice thing about this exhibit is that they're so comfortable here. They exhibit natural behaviors. They've been breeding. He bugles, which is the noise that elk make during breeding season, and they all seem to live pretty happily in a group. He's currently separated because we don't want any babies right now. We have plenty of babies, but you see he just stood up for you, and he's still looking at his girls all the time. So he's a pretty great animal. Really nice for people to be able to see in the Lansing area. This exhibit isn't necessarily specific to elk. It's what we'd like to see for any animal. This is very similar to what their natural habitat would be, and the goal of Potter Park Zoo is to provide the most natural habitat possible for all the animals that live with us. Thank you all for taking a look at Potter Park Zoo. We consider ourselves a gem in the Lansing area, and we feel just amazed at the community support that we get. So we figured it's pretty nice to be able to show people the work that we do. We've been through the North American exhibit. You've seen some of the species that are comfortable in this climate because they reside in climates that are similar, whether it's Siberia or China or that kind of thing. You've seen our farmyard. You've been able to meet Dopsy, the most amazing eastern black rhino ever. I met our eastern bongo, and we're just really happy to have you here, and thank you for taking the time to take a look at the work that we do.
Thank you all for taking our video tour of Potter Park Zoo. Now I hope everyone will come down if you haven't been here, or if you haven't been here in years, or if you just want to check out just this incredible zoo right in the middle of our city. There's so many things to see. You've gotten a taste of it today on this chilly but sunny day. Those that are out here that are North American that can take the chill, but come down whenever you can. Come see the lights in December. Come see all of the animals in the summer. We put a lot of hard work into this zoo, and we're proud to have it for the citizens of the city of Lansing and for our whole region. So come on down and check it out.